Right everyone, welcome back to the channel. Right, today we are going to get this done. This is the new downpipe. This is a Piper downpipe. Has a slightly different angle on the bottom, which is definitely going to fit this time. The other one was not gonna, the angle was different, so it wasn't going to fit, despite us having the trouble with the O2 sensor. But we've got the tools now. We're going to try and get this off and get this completed today. So without messing around and wasting any more time, let's crack on and get this done. Right everybody, this is the Piper D-Cat. Not as pretty as the other one, mind you, but it's a 2.5 inch going into a 2 inch at the bottom, which will be able to go into the standard exhaust system and be able to go on to any other exhaust system. Yeah, we're going to get this on today, and fingers crossed it all goes well. So I know roughly what I'm doing, but nevertheless we might run into a few problems, so let's just get cracking on the car. So let's start again. Let's get the middle boost pipe off, 2 Jubilee clips, and we'll be good. Get that removed, and then we can tackle this O2 sensor, which we were having trouble with last time. This is a pain. It's super hot. It's been left for a while, but it's still absolutely burning. So we're probably going to get a few more sores like we did last time and burnt my hands. So let's get this off first, and then we can tackle the rest. Right guys, so with the boost hose off, we're now going to tackle the heat shield again. We've got the 2 bolts here holding this on, and then we've got the bolts for this. There's some underneath there and then down there, which are the real pain, especially when it's hot. And then we can also try and get this O2 sensor off, which we were struggling with last time. This is a 22mm, so if you need one of those. And then I'm going to undo the sensor plug from just here. Then we take this sensor off, and then we can take the plate off and expose the bolts that go onto the turbo from the downpipe. In fact, what I think I'm going to start with is the O2 sensor. So we've got the 22mm this time, and hopefully it doesn't give us any trouble. So I'm just going to get that done, take the sensor out if we can get it off, and then the heat shield will come straight off. Right guys, well that worked. The O2 sensor is now cracked. I actually put some WD-40 on this for a little while, so make sure you do that, just to help it off, and now it's just going to be able to come off. We should be okay. Twist that a bit. A bit twisted. There we go. Not looking too healthy, but it's off. Right, let's get the heat shield off. Right, I've just removed the 2 bolts using a 10mm socket, and then this will now slip out like so. Bit of a silly design, but that's removed, and then that will expose the 10mm sockets for those 3 at the top, and then there's a couple on the bottom here, which are a pain to get to. Right guys, that's all the bolts off. As I say, these 2 at the bottom there are a bit of a pain, but this is essentially ready to come out now. It does need a bit of a jiggle, so we'll use 2 hands. A little bit awkward with one, so let's try and get this out without damaging it and bending it like I did last time in the corner. But let's get this out. God damn, it's hot. Right, okay, that's out. Oh, what a pain. So we'll set that down next to the bolts, make sure we don't lose anything. And now we're in a position to see expose the turbo, and the bolts that we need. As you can see, look, can you see the white here? Someone tried to fill that before, and this bolt here, just down here, is not even done up properly. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to spray these with some WD-40 and get underneath the car as well and give that a spray on the O2 sensor, just to make sure that we can get that off. And then we have to move the heat shield somehow. I'm not really sure on this part, so I'm going to have a look at that, because we need to slide this out. We don't want to be removing these pins, and there's no way there's any room with that heat shield on, so we're gonna have to move that out of the way. Right guys, so I've sprayed the bolts, and this is a 13 socket or spanner, and that one's moving quite nicely, so we'll take those off in a moment. Now the bottom one, as I showed you, it's actually loose, so someone's tried to attempt that. Either that is the bolt seized and the pin was coming out at the same time, which is a bit worrying. So I haven't tested this one yet, but I don't know how to move the heat shield out of the way, so we're going to have enough room to take this off. So this could all be a bit of a failure. Yeah, a little bit worried, but I'm going to just go underneath the car. I'm going to spray the sensor underneath there and just see if we can get that done, and then we're going to come up here, we're going to take these off and see if we can slide this out. I don't think we're going to have enough room, not with that heat shield in the way. I've got no idea how to take it off. Right, underneath the car, sprayed the O2 sensor. I'm going to give that a go in a moment. As you can see, this needs to come underneath the car. We need to remove this coupling here as well. I'm not even sure if we've got enough room to actually bring it down, to be honest. So another possible failure, but I can't see how to get that bracket off for the heat shield. It's all looking a bit scary, to be honest. Well, let's see if we can get this off. That's one of our tasks. And we've got the two bolts under here as well for the hangers, one here and one over the other side, just there, and this one here. So we need to get those off anyway, so I think we're gonna have to do it and then just see if we can get it out. Right guys, I might have to now fail again because I can't get this O2 sensor out. It won't budge, and I've sprayed it with WD-40 loads of times, and it will not move an inch. It won't budge. So we've gone from getting the O2 sensor up at the top, and now we can't even move this. Oh, this is so frustrating. Right guys, as much as I feel it's pretty much would come off, I just can't get the O2 sensor off, and from underneath, and it's just driving me crazy. I've been at it now for a while, so I'm going to call it a day today. We're going to put everything back. Maybe I can pop to the local garage and they can just crack the O2 sensor loose, and then we're in a position where we can obviously do it ourselves, which is what I want to do. But nevertheless, I just can't get it off, so we're just going to put everything back and call it a day. Right guys, we just got to do the last two of these bolts up a bit tighter. Let's do that now, and then get the turbo hose on, and then we are calling it a day, which is a real shame. But let's see if maybe I can pop to the garage, as I said, and see if they can crack that O2 sensor on the bottom, make it loose, and then just give us an opportunity to actually get it off ourselves. So let's get this turbo hose on. and then I think we're going to call it a day. Right guys, we're back up and running. Just going to turn the car on, make sure everything's okay. Don't see why it shouldn't be. I've done that bolt up better on the downpipe to the turbo, so that's done up tight now. So I'm left with one screw, which I know where it comes from. It's just down there at the bottom, which is the worst place to have it, and I can't be bothered to get it in. I'm fed up now. So I'm just going to leave it off because I'm going to take this off again and we're going to do it again. But let's turn on the car and just make sure everything is okay. Right guys, as you can probably tell, I'm super disappointed. The fact that I got further than I did last time and got stumped on the O2 sensor at the rear or the bottom, which to be fair, I knew was going to cause a little bit of trouble because it's underneath the car, it gets wet, and the likelihood is it probably would have been seized. But I didn't expect it not to go. So yeah, extremely disappointed. Got a cracking headache, and I think we're just going to start the car, and I'm just going to make sure that everything is running okay. I don't see why it wouldn't be, but let's give it a start, and then we'll just turn it over for a couple of minutes. I'm sure it's fine. But look, I'm going to end the video there. As I say, I might try and trek down to the local garage, see if they're happy just to crack that off and make it loose, so we can potentially have another go at this. I'm confident I can do it. It's just getting stumped. So anyway, look, thanks for watching, and hopefully next time we'll be able to show you a full installation of a downpipe. Cheers.